And now Diane Kingston, member of the CRPD Committee, will give us an insight on the jurisprudence of the committee with regards to those issues.
Thank you, Alex. Everybody hear me okay? Yes. So first of all, I would like to thank so much the opportunity to be able to speak with you today. I'd like to thank INTAR, to thank the Baku Trust, to thank IDA, and also CBM is the organisation I work with when I'm not serving on the United Nations Committee on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. I'd also like to thank Nigel, who's sitting at the back in the right-hand corner, who is my personal assistant who assists me when I'm with the Committee on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities because of my psychosocial disability. So as Alex said, I'm going to talk a little bit about the CRPD's jurisprudence and what we've produced. What I've heard in the room over the last couple of days, several people have referred to the social model, referred to the medical model. I'd like to take you beyond those thinkings and to the jurisprudence of the committee where we talk about the human rights model. So rather than looking just at the interaction between somebody's impairment and their environment, which is the social model and the barriers that that causes, to really look at the human rights of persons with disabilities. Most states parties do not understand their human rights obligations towards persons with disabilities. This has been the case, for example, in countries that we've examined, such as Thailand, Kenya, and Germany. The committee's job, as Alex said, is to monitor the implementation of the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. And we do this via an examination process, which is called a constructive dialogue. And what we produce from that constructive dialogue are a set of recommendations or concluding observations. These are legally binding internationally. The standards that we set in those recommendations apply worldwide. It's the same message to every country, irrespective of their income. We produce not just the recommendations or concluding observations, but we also issue statements and general comments, which provide further guidance for states parties on particular articles which might be problematic, where they need more understanding and guidance from the committee. So I'm going to reiterate some of the articles that Samuel Kabue already introduced you to. So the Convention itself is made up of 50 articles, of which 33 are core articles that need to be implemented by the states parties. On Article 8, awareness raising, we have issued recommendations where we state that there is a concern that the mass media, so that's radio, TV, newspapers, etc., lack initiatives to eliminate stigma, especially stigma of people with psychosocial disabilities. We've issued these recommendations in relation to, for example, but not exhaustively, to the European Union, the first regional integration body that we examined within the human rights system, Uganda and Qatar. On Article 12, equal recognition before the law, Sam touched on the issue around legal capacity and the problem that most people have, not you, but states parties, is that they conflate legal capacity with mental capacity. And these are two very separate and distinct areas. Essentially, if you deny somebody their legal capacity, it means legal death. We have produced our first general comment on this subject because it is such a difficult subject for people to understand. And we have also issued numerous recommendations. The recommendations include avoiding substituted decision-making regimes such as guardianship, and instead provide supported decision-making regimes. to respect the autonomy, will and preference of people, to give choice and control over things like marriage, family, financial affairs and voting, for example. Some of the countries that have received these recommendations include Brazil, Serbia, Mongolia, the Cook Islands and the Dominican Republic. There is only one country in the world that has harmonised its domestic legislation to be aligned to Article 12 of the Convention. If any of you know which this country is, except for the people on the panel here, come and see me afterwards to receive your prize. Article 13 is on access to justice. Some of the jurisprudence that we've produced talks about the right to testify in courts, the requirement to train legal and law enforcement personnel to validate testimony, to combat stereotypes, especially for persons with psychosocial disabilities. We've issued these recommendations for countries such as Kenya, Thailand, Lithuania, Ukraine, and Mauritius. On Article 14, liberty and security of the person, we've issued recommendations, but we've also issued a statement. We've issued a statement because so many other UN bodies, agencies, and other international organisations still do not understand what Article 14 means. This also includes, for example, the Human Rights Committee and the Mandela Guidelines on Detention. Article 14 means that you cannot involuntarily detain somebody or institutionalise somebody. There cannot be involuntary treatment. There cannot be detention on the basis of somebody's impairment or their perceived impairment. You cannot detain somebody on the presumption that they may be dangerous to themselves or others. There must be the presumption of innocence, and there must be free and fair trials and free and informed consent. We've issued recommendations to countries such as Gabon, Turkmenistan, Chile, the Dominican Republic, and Mongolia. On Article 15, freedom from cruel, inhuman or degrading treatment, we've said that there must not be involuntary physical, chemical, mechanical restraints. There must not be isolation or seclusion or psychosurgery or ECT or antipsychotic treatment or medical experiments without free and informed consent. We've also said there's a lack of monitoring mechanisms to ensure that these things don't happen. We've issued these recommendations in countries as diverse as the Czech Republic, the European Union, Kenya, Turkmenistan and Uganda. On Article 16, freedom from violence, exploitation and abuse, we've issued recommendations that say that these things cannot happen inside or outside of the home, especially in institutions, including psychiatric institutions. We've issued these recommendations in countries such as Mongolia, Peru and Hungary. Article 17 deals with integrity of the person. We have said there should be no forced sterilisation, no medical interventions without free and informed consent, no neurosurgery without free and informed consent, and that the rights of intersex infants and children need to be respected. We've issued such recommendations in countries such as Germany, Thailand and Chile. On Article 19, living independently in the community, we've criticised states parties saying there is a lack of deinstitutionalisation, there is a lack of community-based support, there's a lack of service provision, and lack of funding of community-based services. We've said this in respect of countries such as Serbia, Gabon, Mongolia and Slovakia. On Article 25 on health, we say that mental health systems are dominated by the medical model, that the training of healthcare personnel is lacking on the human rights-based approach, and that community-based health systems and services in mental health are lacking. We've said this in respect to the Dominican Republic, Kenya, Chile, the Cook Islands and Hungary. And lastly, on Article 27 on employment, we've stated that there must not be discrimination in the recruitment, retention or promotion of persons with disabilities, including those with psychosocial disabilities. We've said this in respect to Gabon and Serbia, for example, but not exhaustively. So to conclude, it doesn't matter where you are, or who you are, or where you're from. The jurisprudence is the same. The committee issues these recommendations and these guidelines and general comments for everybody across the globe. Those standards are the same, and they must be upheld within international law. So thank you so much for listening.